Welcome everybody to today's seminar on video publishing. So this seminar is part of the Nexus Monarch project where we will present you a couple of different topics, and the video publishing seminar is the first seminar in this series. So video publishing is becoming more and more important also from the scientific point of view, as this is a very interesting channel to disseminate scientific results to different stakeholder groups. So in this seminar we will give you a short wrap-up on video production, so on best practices in video production. We will also explain you a little bit on different stakeholder and groups of interest who are watching these videos, and we will in the end give you an example how such a video could look like. So the seminar is structured in 6 individual topics. So topic 1 to 5 will look at different aspects of video production. So starting with planning a video, when we continue with some legal aspects which we need to consider when we film a video, and we will also look into the video production process itself. So we will give you some guidance on what kind of techniques and what kind of tools exist to make videos. And in the end we have this post-production item where we explain some software tools which we use or which can be used to cut videos, for example, to adjust sounds and so on. Yeah, and as I said at the beginning, at the end there will be an example or a couple of examples where we look into how we do this video production here at Hochschule Fresenius. So, video production process itself consists of 3 different stages. So we have a pre-production, the production stage, and the post-production. During the pre-production, we basically define our goals, we define the scope of a video, and of course also the budget. This is also very important. So budget not only from a point of view of euros, but also from the point of view of time, for example. The planning in this period is mostly on the production phase and also on the post-production phase. So what is the production phase and what is the post-production phase? In the production phase we record our video and also the audio material. So it's not necessarily the same shot, so this can be independent work. In the post-production we basically edit the videos, we review and approve our material. And finally, of course, we have a final stage where we use this material and approve the whole product. So, what is important during video production and why do we need such a structured process? Yeah, this is very important to be aware that these 3 phases which I just explained, that there's a reason, so that there's a benefit of such a structured process. The first one is the dependability. So just think about we want to have a video shot in the laboratory, for example, or during a sampling campaign. We would need, once we have a sampling campaign, probably nice weather, yeah, or you need waterproof equipment. The actors or the lab technician, for example, has to be aware that there will be a video shot in the lab and that probably some equipment will not be available. The second benefit of this process, of this structured process, is a predictable timeline. So we will need some best guess and some estimations how long such a video shot will take, just to make sure that you have equipment available, that the people are available at the set. And of course, once you have planned this properly and accounted for all these different aspects, you need less revisions at the end. Yeah? And it's a kind of, it's not very nice if you have to redo everything again, because the availability of people, of personnel, as well as of equipment is of course limited. So these are just a couple of aspects why such a structured process is needed for a video shot. All right, let's have a look now a bit more in detail in these different production phases. So the first one is the pre-production process. So just to remind you, this is basically the planning period. So during this planning period, we have a couple of, let's say, critical steps in the process. One, of course, is the budget. The second one is when we prepare the concept of a video. And of course, we need a production team. We need people who act during our video. Yeah? So these 3 points need to be clarified before we actually can start with our video production. So that's why it's part of a pre-production process. We should not forget the other 3 points which are mapped or listed here on the right side. Usually when we do a video, there's a short script. So what kind of text will be explained, will be read during videoing. This is important so that people know what we have to say. Choosing a fitting location, of course, is also very important because the location should transport the message. And it should not only transport the message, it should be also, I say, fit for purpose. So, for example, you need to have, during sampling campaign, you want to film a location which the viewer, so the video viewer, can in the end also understand. So that's a second, or fifth actually, important aspect when we think about the pre-production period. Yeah, and at the end, of course, creating a shot list and a schedule. This is the time planning basically, which is important so that we know how much time, or we estimate how much time we would need for videoing and for filming, but also for the planning phase, which I just explained. All right. Also during the pre-production process, we mentioned the conceptualization of a video, which we really need to consider because we have different target groups. So who is actually the person we want to motivate to watch the video? Yeah? And I listed here a couple of groups which could be relevant in our scientific context. So where, for example, an instrument company would like to advertise a product. Yeah? A university would like to acquire students. So we have two different scopes here, and this also means that probably the type of video should be different. Yeah. Other examples are if you want to present a scientific paper, where the interest group is clearly a scientist, we would probably need a very different kind of video presentation. So we have structured this a little bit more into these three groups or three purpose groups. So we have the scientific purpose, we have a mixed purpose, so where we want to both present results but also make people interested in our project, for example. And we have a marketing scope, which is here given on the right side. So for these different target groups, we will have, of course, different video concepts. So how does now look, what kind of aspects do we need to consider once we've chosen the target group? Of course, as I said, video is different depending on the target group. So marketing, it will have a different video than scientific video. And this goes together. So what is different? This goes together with the goal of a video. So for marketing, we aim at increasing our sales. For scientific videos, we want to basically disseminate and present our scientific results and make people aware what we found out. So the target group, whether it's students, scientists, or the public, will then, of course, influence the video we are going to produce. The target group itself also requires some thinking because a video for, let's say, primary school students, or for students at a university will, of course, look very different. So the level of education we need to consider. The interest and the core profile, so this is basically their experience, and of course also their involvement of our target group plays here a crucial role. So we have now prepared an example to make it a bit more yeah, real for you. So we want to produce a video, let's assume, yeah, which has the topic on effects of a multi-stressor environment on marine life. And we have two different target groups. We would like to compare these target group and how these videos would differ. So group one is, or group one are high school students. In this the goal of us for this video would be to raise awareness on the topic. Yeah? We would also assume that there is little knowledge on the topic in this group. Yeah? So on a specific scientific topic. And of course, the aim is to increase the involvement for environmental health. And how can we do this? Yeah, we would use, of course, powerful images, yeah, which transport our results of a topic, yeah, our information, our knowledge on the topic, and this would make them, so the target group, aware. And this can be done, for example, by powerful images. If we have the same topic and there's another target group, which are scientists, for example, these four different points look a bit different. So of course our goal is also to raise awareness and also to transport the state-of-the-art knowledge in this field. We would assume that this target group has expert knowledge on the topic. Yeah? So we would have a different type of information we would provide and a different way of information we would provide. Yeah, and this is the way how we would provide it. Yeah, we would need to account for the high scientific standard once we are filming. Yeah, and the involvement, of course, we want to have impact using their own research topic. Yeah? So it would be important to outline possible interactions between their topic and our topic we are presenting. Yeah, a further part, once we are during pre-production, when we plan our video, is the script writing. So the script and the screenwriting play an important role to address all the items we've just explained you in the last 4 slides. Yeah, such a well-written script enables us to have a clear image of our vision, so what we actually want to transport, what kind of knowledge, what kind of information we want to transport, and how we want to transport this. And it also guarantees a straightforward production process. Yeah. And the information which is needed in such a script includes locations, so where do we film, where do we put our camera, what about lightning and as well as the audio, so do we need additional light sources for filming? Yeah? For example, when you are in a laboratory, you normally use additional light to make high quality films. Yeah, involvement of actors, do we need clothing? Yeah, in the laboratory, of course, you need safety equipment, and the time schedule is also part here of such a script. Yeah, using this information and this guidance, we have prepared a list where we want to film our video, and the video is on preparing and analyzing samples using LC-ICP MS. So our video should consist of 5 scenes, which are listed here in this table. Yeah, you can have a look for a couple of moments to see what kind of actions in these different scenes we are planning and what kind of audio is being used for these scenes. And as an additional step, we have made a list, which is basically the short list, where we plan our video shooting according to different times, and also people who are involved in this different scenes. When you make such a planning, you need to consider a couple of boundary conditions, like people need breaks. You should be aware of weather conditions. It cannot always be sun, maybe in Athens, yes, but for sure not in Idstein. So, by the way, it's a good place if you want to have a scene in rainy conditions.
So after Stefan told you something about the pre-production processes, let's come to the legal aspects. If you plan to use these videos for commercial use, you have to be aware of certain things. One of the main important things is the licensing. And this includes photos, videos, music, licensing. So make sure that you have the right licenses or that these audio and video materials are freely available. This is also valid for logos and trademarks. And if you work with external persons or actors, make sure that they sign talent release forms so that they give you the permission to use this material on your video. This also applies for locations. So if you shoot on private property or partly also on public property, make sure that you have the permission to use this material in your video. And always consider that there might be some national or international guidelines or laws which differ, so do a research before you start taking your videos to avoid any complications. Because what are the consequences? The consequences that you either lose the right to monetize your video, that you might get sued by other actors, creators, or other people involved, and that you need to pay fees to them, or even in the probably worst case, your video gets taken down and you're not able to use it anymore. So what can you do against that? Basically avoid the shots of any logos and trademarks, anything that's problematic. This includes product labels, this includes street advertisement, license plates, and so on. If that's not feasible, then you need to do a censoring. And this censoring can either be done as physical censoring, so during the production process, you cover the labels or you just hold them in the camera so that you don't see the label. Or if that's not possible, then you can do a software-based censoring where you just pixelate or put black beams to censor the things that you don't have a permission to show.
When the video is conceptualized and all the legal terms are considered, the real filming starts. Now for the video production you need a camera, a microphone and maybe some accessories. In our case we use the Sony ZV-1 which was provided by the university. It has the listed specs which were more than enough to create a video you're seeing here and that we will show you in the end. Mostly any modern camera nowadays has full HD and at least 30 FPS filming capacities, and that's probably, or in most cases, it's more than you need. Next to the camera, we used our trusty tripod for static shots. It's great also for solo filming and creating long exposure shots or time lapses where you want a steady camera position. When you're going for a more dynamic approach, like walking through the city or creating vlogs, a small grip might be very handy for you that you attach to the bottom of the camera. It has some buttons with shortcuts to your camera, and it also can act as a small tripod if you want to place your camera somewhere and make a video. For more cinematic videos with fluid pannings, we used a gimbal. It's what you see later in the laboratories where we do the fluid shots to show our equipment. For our audio recordings, we didn't use the inbuilt camera, but it's at least the most straightforward approach you can use. It's built in, it's very cost effective because you don't have to buy it separately, but it also often has a low sound quality, and the biggest problem is that it's omnidirectional, so it's attached to a camera and it picks up a lot of background noise from behind and in front of the camera. What we're using right now and is placed in front of me is a small Bluetooth or lavalier microphone, which you can just clip to your t-shirt or place it somewhere in close proximity to your speaker, and it will provide you with a great sound quality. Problem is, in many cases it's seen in the camera because it's clipped onto the shirt of the speaker, and it's only effective for recording the sound from one subject. So if you want to record, I don't know, an interview with 2 or more speakers, you're going to need more than one lavalier microphone. Or if you want to go an alternative route, you can use a shotgun microphone, which is mounted to the top of the camera, which also provides a very high sound quality. It's unidirectional, so you can just point it straight at what you want to record, and you will record that without a lot of background noise. The best option, of course, is to use a studio microphone, which has a very high sound quality, but it also comes with higher cost. It often requires some external equipment, and thus it's only really useful in a studio environment and not useful for outdoor shots. For lighting, we just used what we were given. So in the laboratories we used LEDs and fluorescent bulbs mounted to the ceilings, and when we were filming outside we just used the natural light from the sun. Here the only real thing to consider is that a bright diffused lighting just gives a uniform look image with a positive tone. And if you're using dim light, which you usually don't when filming documentaries or scientific videos, because it just gives a high contrast and sets a dark and moody tone for the video. And here you have to also consider that many cameras underperform at low light levels, so just bright, uniform and natural lighting is the preferred way to go. Of course, not every hardware is useful in every situation. For us, we were mostly filming in a laboratory setting where we couldn't really make any interviews or record any useful noise because it's just way too loud in there. But on the other hand, it's always well lit, at least in our case, so we didn't have to bring any additional lights or mirrors or whatever. I'm going to play a short video for you now that shows the filming conditions in a laboratory setting. After filming all the shots we wanted, the post-production process had to start. For this we first had to find a suitable editing software. For this we chose Kdenlive, but there's many other options available that more or less will suit the editing style and the budget of the project you're working in. Kdenlive was super for us because it's fast, lightweight, easy to use, but DaVinci Resolve and Adobe Premiere Pro are very nice and powerful softwares that are good alternatives to Kdenlive. We provided you with the sources for the software and the manuals themselves. Most of the manuals are provided by the publishers of the software and are an excellent way to learn or get in touch with the software.
In the end, there's a couple of examples I would like to share with you. So there's one video we have filmed here at the Hochschule Fresenius introducing the Institute for Analytical Research, but there's also more videos which you can access via the links below this video. At the Institute for Analytical Research at Hochschule Fresenius, a University of Applied Science, we perform applied research and provide services in the fields of environmental, process and material analysis. With this, we contribute to chemical risk assessment and to development of safe and sustainable materials and processes. At our institute, we possess a state-of-the-art laboratory infrastructure with a focus on organic and inorganic trace analysis. This infrastructure is used in our recent research activities, which include analysis of persistent, mobile and toxic compounds, analysis of PFAS, the so-called forever chemicals, and analysis of microplastics and nanomaterials. In our research activities, we collaborate with local and international partners, aiming at implementation and knowledge transfer.